Welcome to our London System and Slav overview video. Now, this opening video series of two videos is going to be designed to give you a complete repertoire to play based off of a structural idea orientation. Now, if that sounds puzzling, don't worry because I'm going to outline for you in these two videos exactly how to play chess for the first 15 moves without any problems whatsoever. So, what I want you to focus on as I'm going through the moves is a structure that we're going to get to. Now, what I'm going to show you after going through a series of moves for the first time is this idea that we are going to have a diamond structure in all the games where we can castle, put our knights on f3 and d2, the bishop's going to be f4, and depending upon the situation, the bishop on d3 or e2. So, going back to move 1, after d4, d5, bishop f4, and if knight f6, we are aiming for our diamond structure. The knight goes in the hole, and after we castle, sometimes we want to give this bishop a luft so that a knight can't kick him, and usually that occurs in positions where there's a bishop on e7. So if knight h5, we will be able to drop our bishop back in here. So after h3, bishop b7 took place, and now b4, and we begin to get queenside space. We can bring the queen up here, bring the rook over, and then the action can really take place with c4, b4, and a4 breaks. Because the center, nothing much is happening here, and we don't want to move the pawns in front of our king, so we're playing on the queen side typically. So going back, after d4, say we see the move c5. They're trying to mess us up, so we can't get to our diamond structure. So anytime they try to attack this pawn, we simply defend it. So if he takes, we just take back, and then go straight back to our diamond. So after d5, want to get our bishop outside of the chain before closing it in with the diamond. And now we have the diamond structure. And you want to really focus on getting all the pieces developed, all the minor pieces anyway, and completing development. Now, in this variation, black has decided to attack the bishop. So if we just allow him to take it, we've traded a knight for a bishop in an open position, which is a bad trade for white. But you can force black to weaken his pawn structure before making the trade, and later these pawns will be much weakened and easier to attack. So it's considered well worth the trade. And in this variation, we have an open file to work with. So the plan's pretty simple. I'm going to get the queen out of the way and bring my rooks to double on the c file where the action's going to be happening. And that's it. The main purpose of this system, called the London system for white, is to be able to just simply get out all of our pieces and have a good game. So let's look at one or two more examples of the London system to really get it stuck in your head. Now, this is when black is playing the King's Indian against the London. This is the only exception to our rule of knight goes to d2 early. We play bishop e2 and h3 and castles. The reason is that when e5 is played, we have a hole to put our bishop in, and if e4 is played, earlier if we had placed this knight on d2, we wouldn't have any good squares for this knight to travel to. That's why we hold back. Now after knight f8, we want to focus on this extended pawn. So c4, we put both knights on the case. He defends. Now, we can't play on the king side. We can't play in the center. So again, our play is on the queen side. So we begin to get space, and we're going to play b4, a4, and we're going to make sure our pawns come in contact with his very soon. The final variation of the London system I want to show you is with f5. This is the Dutch. You just want to watch out for these types of ideas to kick our bishop, so we secure him there. And then we go straight back to our diamond idea. And occasionally, you're able to play ideas where you can castle queenside and then eventually throw pawns on the king side. So that concludes the ideas that I wanted to show you for the London system with white. And literally, no matter what black throws at you, you'll be able to achieve this system where we have this type of structure for white. This is the image in your mind that you need to have for the opening. This is point B, point A being the starting position, where you have all of your pieces developed and you just have a solid game. Now let's look at how we can take the London system and use it for black. And in this position, ironically, what black has done, you can do against everything that is not move 1 e4. So let's go ahead and flip the board so you can see the perspective of where we're headed to in all of our lines. So let's get started. So after 1d4, we can very easily see how to get to this line. After c4, c6, we have our diamond. Different from when we're playing white, we don't bring our bishop outside the chain because it can lead to some issues. For instance, if you play bishop f5 early with black, anytime white has the ability to swing the queen out here, you'll be able, with the queen, to hit both the d5 square and b7 square. So usually this means the loss of a pawn for black. So it's better to remember this idea of sealing in the bishop anytime a c-pawn is moved because of this queen b3 threat. That's a huge memory marker that you should have because a lot of students get confused when you're going to be looking at the Caro-Kann videos in the Caro-Kann lines in the next videos, I should say, where the bishop will come out quite frequently in the Caro-Kann, but the main difference is if the white queen can travel to b3 to attack b7, moving out the bishop is bad. In the Caro-Kann, there's typically a pawn there, so moving out the bishop is good. That's the key memory marker. So continuing with our diamond structure, we put the knights in. We have the knights on f6 and d7. We castle. Notice how the queen and bishop are lining up. We just play h6. Now our bad piece, we need to figure out a way to get developed. And there's two ways. You can take here, play b5, a6, and bishop b7, with the eventual plan of c5. Or, after bishop h4, you can simply play the move b6 to get your bishop out and developed. And after, say, pawn takes, we want to take this way. So, plans like rook c8, a6, b5, and then using the c4 square for this knight is a great positional way to play. Or after bishop b7, if they play rook c1, we have lined up all of our pieces in the structure to be able to play the move c5. Notice how the pawn, the knight on d7, the bishop on e7, everybody's ready to play this c5 move with great effect. And once it's played, a lot of conflict is happening in the center. So this is what we're going for. Now, let me show you how you can play it against everything that's not e4. So, of course you can't play it against e4 because after d5, we're never going to get our diamond if that pawn isn't there. So, going back. We have one c4. And after c6, d4, d5, and we already see how we've transposed. The important thing to note is we cannot play 1d5 because he'll just take, and as I stated before, we can't get to a diamond if we got a queen on d5. So c4, c6, d5, and we are headed straight for our diamond. And in this variation, white's castle queenside, so we're going to want to throw our pawns to try to rip open his king, and he's going to be doing the same. So, on move 1, if white decided to play knight f3, after d5, we see our diamond again. And in this variation in the Catalan, we don't want to capture on e4. We in fact just want to complete development because it's very hard for white to get at the king. So we use the open file, and eventually we're going to maneuver around on the queen side where white's trying to attack us on the king side. But we do have a lot of great space to utilize over here. Just don't get mated. That's the main thing. But that's the advice I could give you in any game, right? So, how we can use these diamond-like ideas against everything. Now, say against e4, I play 1c6, and after d4, d5. The thing you have to remember is it works a lot of the time, but the Caro-Kann, it can be a difficult opening to play with a lot of theoretical lines. So say, for instance, after knight c3, takes, I'll play bishop f5, and you will see that this is the structure without the d-pawn. So the pieces are typically going to go in generally the same place. So if we notice here, all of black's pieces are in the same place except the bishop is outside the chain. Now, the other way you can reach this type of structure is after e4, d5, which I covered in my center counter video, and I recommend queen d6 here. But outside of the center counter repertoire that I recommended in those videos, after queen a5, you can play c6, and we will quickly see that again, you want to watch out for that threat. We get the diamond video again. So, same structure. Hopefully this video has shown you that from the ideas presented, you can get your pieces on familiar squares and a similar pawn structure every time you sit down to play a game of chess.